Hi friends, so in this session what I would like to show you is backing up your database tables. So for any production deployment that you make for your table objects from a database, it's advised that you doing that in a production environment you would take a backup of the table as well as the data and then perform your data modifications or manipulations. So to do that I am I'm shooting a very simple video for you where I would just show you how to back up your tables and when there is no important data, at least back up the schema of the tables when you're trying to perform any schema changes. So if we what we have here in this session is a sales table which has six or five records. So to do a backup of this table and to keep it in a production environment, what you would do is we'll see. Let's call this backup to be sales back BKP. So what we would do is we'll select star into the sales underscore BKP table from, let's call it sales. So when I execute this query, what happens is it not only creates a table at the runtime, but it also pushes the data into the table. So let's see what we have here in this table. So we have, as you can see, we have 5 records into this table which has been created at the runtime. So it is a single query to create your table as well as to push the data. So if you look at the schema of this table, it would be precisely similar to the sales table. The only point to note is the indexes. If you have created any indexes or constraints on the sales table would not be created at the runtime. So you would have to use or refer to as copy SQL objects task, which I have actually demonstrated in my last video in case you would want to copy the constraints and the indexes. But for a simple backup of the schema or of the data that you would want, you can use this query to perform the backup. Now what I want to show you, just in case if you don't want the data to be copied and you just want the schema backed up, how would you do that? To do so, let's create another backup. Let's call it BKP2 from sales, and let's do this. So what this query would do is, if you see the table has been created, but there wouldn't be any record, which goes to say we have evaluated a false expression. We have added a false expression to this query and which in turn has actually resulted in a table being created but with the same schema of the sales table, but there is no record which gets inserted because of the where clause. So it's a quick way to simply back up the schema of the table if you're trying to make any schema changes to the table in a production environment for during a production deployment. So remember, we have done what we have done here is we have in step 1 we have created a backup with the data, and in the step 2 we have created a schema backup of a table, and to iterate again, we do not have any indexes which or constraints which get created in this process. And at the end of it, if you would like to do so, refer or try to use SSIS copy SQL Server objects, which would actually create a copy of your table along with the indexes or the respective constraints. I hope this blog is useful to you guys. Thank you.